You feel it, don't you? Something that seemed lost, forgotten, even impossible to recover is coming back. But it's not you who is bringing it back. Someone is doing it. And it's not just any way. It's stronger, more intense. It's happening now, right before your eyes, but maybe you're too distracted to notice. This person isn't trying to fill empty spaces or fix what broke. They're simply putting everything in its place, bringing back what is yours, that which seemed unattainable. You can resist, doubt, but you know it's real. You can feel it in your chest, in your soul. Do you know what that is? It's the beginning of something that will change everything. You know that life has a peculiar way of showing us things. It's not always clear, it doesn't always come with a warning. Sometimes it even seems like a coincidence, but it's not. This person, whoever they are, is restoring something within you, something you might have stopped believing in. Not because you wanted to, but because circumstances forced you to. Because time passed and convinced you that certain things don't come back. But now something is moving, and you feel it, don't you? It's a force pushing you to see what you've been avoiding. This isn't about fixing what is broken. It's not about filling the gaps of losses or disappointments that marked you. It's about giving back what is essential, what defines who you are. It might be confidence, it might be the sense of belonging. It could even be the desire to start over. What matters is that this is happening, and you're at the center of it all. And do you know what's more intense? Maybe this person didn't come into your life by chance. Maybe they were placed exactly at the moment you needed them. But here's the point. Are you paying attention? Because the problem is not just that you get distracted. The problem is that sometimes you become skeptical. You doubt what is right in front of you. This person may not be saying everything in clear words. They may be showing it between the lines, through simple gestures, in the details you tend to ignore. But if you keep going like this, running and dodging, you might end up missing the chance to understand what is truly being offered to you now. That's why I want you to stop. Feel. Notice what's around you, who's around you. This person is offering you something that no one else can offer, not because they are perfect, not because they have all the answers, but because they have what you need at this moment. What you thought you had lost is coming back, but in a stronger, more complete form. It won't be like before. It couldn't be. It's something that carries the weight of the lessons you have lived. It's something that transforms you. And maybe you think you don't deserve it. Maybe you think you're not ready, or that you've gotten used to living without it. But honestly, don't you think it's time to stop hiding behind these excuses, because that's what they are? You know it. They are walls you built to protect yourself, but now they keep you away from what could really do you good. This moment won't come back. This person might not insist forever, and if you keep postponing, it will end up being too late. And it's not about chasing after or making grand gestures. Sometimes all that is needed is just to be present. It's letting the mask drop and showing who you really are. There's no point in waiting for the perfect moment because it doesn't exist. What exists is the now. And now, this person is trying to reach you. They are doing their part. And you? Are you willing to do yours? Are you willing to accept what is being restored even if it scares you? Because I know it's scary. Accepting changes, accepting that you deserve something good is scary. But it is necessary. You have choices, you always do. But don't choose apathy. Don't choose to close yourself off. Don't choose to pretend that nothing is happening. Because it is. Something is happening and you feel it. Deep down you know this is not a coincidence. And as hard as it may be, this is your chance to allow something greater to happen. To make room for the new. To recover what was lost and at the same time, to allow yourself to be stronger, more whole. You don't need to understand everything right now. You don't need to know where this is going to take you. But you need to be willing to take the next step, even without guarantees. Life doesn't offer guarantees. This person doesn't offer guarantees. But what is being given to you at this moment has a value that you might only fully understand later. And that's okay. The important thing is that you accept. Accept the movement. Accept the restoration. Accept that you deserve it. Deserve. And if you feel the weight of doubts, if you feel fear trying to pull you back, know that this is normal, but don't let it paralyze you, because this opportunity is not common. These connections, these people who come to transform something within us, don't appear every day. They come at the right moments, and it's up to us to notice and act. So don't lose this. Don't lose what is being built. Don't lose the chance to see something you thought was lost come back to life. Stronger, more true. What are you going to do with this now? This question isn't about pressuring you. It's about placing a mirror in front of you and making you see that the decision is in your hands. Because whatever the choice is, it will define what happens from here on out. You can choose to ignore what's in front of you. You can pretend you didn't see it, that you didn't feel it. Or you can decide to make room for this change, for this recovery. There is no easy answer. There is only movement or stagnation. Which one will you choose? Because if you continue to stand still, life won't wait. People won't wait. This person who is trying to reach you, trying to return something you lost, also has limits. She also carries her own battles, her own fears. And maybe you haven't noticed, but it's difficult for her too. It's also a risk for her. And even so, she's doing it. Why? What makes her insist on you? It's because she sees something you stopped seeing. She sees a potential that you hide. And, most importantly, she believes in you. Now let me ask you something. When was the last time you believed in yourself? When was the last time you looked at your life and thought, I am capable of overcoming this. I deserve this. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Because the world taught you to doubt, the falls, the mistakes, the losses, all of that accumulated, creating layers of fear and insecurity. You stopped believing that things can be good. You stopped believing that something that was broken can be restored. But this person believes. She's showing you this. And now the question is, are you going to ignore it, or are you going to accept this truth? It's not about something perfect without flaws. Nothing is. And maybe you've put this barrier in front of yourself because you're afraid to try and fail. I understand that. Failing hurts. But you know what hurts even more? Not trying. Not making room. Not allowing something good to come into your life because of fear. Because over time, regret is much heavier than the risk of trying. This person is not asking you to change everything at once. They are not demanding that you have all the answers, or that you know exactly how to deal with what is happening. They just want you to be open, for you to let things flow, for you to allow this restoration to happen at the right time. But for this to happen, you need to stop resisting. You need to stop making excuses not to get involved, not to accept, not to see what is right in front of you. And here's an important point. This doesn't mean you won't feel fear or insecurity. Of course you will. Every change brings these emotions, but you can use them as fuel, as a sign that something important is at stake. Because it is. What is happening now is about you. About what you can become. About what you can rescue within yourself. And yes, about what you can build with this person, if you decide to allow it. But for that you need to stop hiding. You need to face what is happening with honesty, with vulnerability. No one is asking you to be invincible. On the contrary, what is being asked is that you be human, that you recognize that you need this, that you want this. It's hard to admit, isn't it? To admit that we need something or someone. But it is in this vulnerability that true strength lies, because that's where you connect, that's where you grow. This person, in her own way, is showing you the path. She can't do it for you. No one can. The restoration that's happening is not just about what she brings, but about what you decide to do with it. It's a partnership. It's a mutual movement. And believe me, if you take a step, even a small one, you will notice something powerful. The weight you were carrying starts to lighten. What seemed unbearable begins to make sense, because it's not just about what you lost. It's about what you can gain now. So I'm going to ask again, and this time I want you to really think about the answer. What are you going to do with it now? Are you going to keep hiding behind your doubts, your justifications, or are you going to make room for this change to happen? You don't need to answer me. You need to answer yourself, because in the end, the one who lives with the consequences of your choice is you. And I know that deep down you already know the answer. This restoration is calling you. This person is calling you, and all you need to do is accept. Even if fear is present, even if insecurity is shouting, there is something stronger inside you, something that wants to break free, that wants to believe again. Don't ignore it. Don't let the noise of your doubts stop you from hearing what is being offered. The choice is yours, and only yours. I know that up to this point, you must already be feeling something. Maybe it's a mix of emotions and restlessness, hope, maybe even a bit of fear. And do you know what that means? That you are alive, that something inside you is being poked, awakened, and that is exactly what this is about. This moment is not just another conversation, it's not just another message that you will hear and forget. It's a calling for you to take control, to see what is happening, and most importantly, to act. Because up until now, you have been hiding. You've been going in circles. You've convinced yourself that you are not ready, or that this is not for you. But here's the question. When did you start believing that? When did you decide that you weren't good enough, that you weren't strong enough, that you weren't capable? Because this belief didn't come from nowhere. It was planted at some point by circumstances, by disappointments, by the words of others. But this belief doesn't have to define you anymore. What is happening now, this person, this connection, this opportunity? All of this is a chance to rewrite that narrative. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe what scares you most is not failure, but success? Yes, success. Because accepting that something good can happen to you is in a way taking on responsibility. It's admitting that you will have to take care of it, that you will have to commit, that you will have to give your best, and I know that's scary, but it's also liberating, because what is being offered to you now is not an obligation, it's a gift. And all you need to do is accept it. Accepting means opening up. It means lowering the barriers you built to protect yourself. It means trusting, even if you don't have all the answers yet. This person who is trying to restore something in you, who is trying to bring back what you thought was lost, is not doing it by chance. And they are not expecting you to be perfect. They are expecting you to be honest, to be yourself, and for that you need to set fear aside. You need to let go of this need to control everything, to predict everything, to have all the guarantees. Because life doesn't work that way. And honestly, it would be very boring if it did. Now let me ask you, are you going to let this pass? Are you going to stay stuck in your comfort zone even knowing it leads nowhere, or are you going to take the next step? Because that's what it's about. One step at a time. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be grand, it just needs to be real, it needs to be yours. And when you take that step, something amazing begins to happen. You start to realize that what seemed impossible, unattainable, is closer than you imagined. Because it's not the destination that matters, it's the movement. It's the fact that you are moving, that you are trying, that you are saying yes to life. And I want you to feel that. I want you to allow yourself to feel the strength of this moment. Because even if you are afraid, even if you have doubts, there is something bigger at play here, something you can't ignore. This person, this connection, this restoration, all of this is here for a reason. And the only thing standing in the way is you, your doubts, your justifications, your barriers. But you know what? They are not as strong as you think. They only have the power you give them. So stop feeding them. Stop giving them space. Start believing you deserve this. Because you deserve it. I know deep down you have a voice that tells you otherwise. A voice that insists on reminding you of all the times you failed, of all the times you were rejected, of all the times you lost. But that voice is not you. It's just a reflection of your experiences, of your pains. And now, you have the chance to silence it. To prove to yourself that you are more than that you are capable of rebuilding what was broken, that you are capable of accepting what is being offered to you now. And I want you to make a decision, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now. Because now is all you have. That person, that connection, that opportunity, all of it is happening in the present. And if you don't act, it might be too late. Not because things will disappear, but because you will distance yourself from them. You will miss the moment. You will miss the chance, and I know you don't want that. I know that deep down you want to say yes. So do it. Say yes. Even with fear. Even with doubts. Just say yes. And I want you to do something very simple now. First, leave a comment. Say what all this stirred in you. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be just a sentence, a word, but do it. Because when you share, you connect. You begin to transform what is inside you into something real. So write. Talk about what you felt, about what you are thinking, about what you will do from now on. Your voice matters. Your experience matters. And when you share, you also inspire others. You show them that they are not alone. And that is powerful. Then, subscribe to the channel. Because what you are feeling right now is just the beginning. There is so much more we can explore together. There is so much more you can learn, discover, restore, and I want you to be here for that. I want you to be part of this journey. Because this is not just about you, it's about all of us. It's about creating a space where we can grow, support each other, transform. And you are part of that. So click on subscribe, don't leave it for later, do it now. And lastly, leave your like. It may seem simple, even insignificant, but it's not. It's a way for you to say to yourself, I am committed, I am present, I am ready to change. It's a small gesture, but it carries enormous meaning, because it's an action. And every action counts. Every action is a step in the right direction. Now it's up to you. All I could do was bring this message to you, show you what is happening, remind you of what you can be. But the rest depends on you. It depends on your courage, your will, your decision, and I truly hope you choose to say yes. Because you deserve it. Because you are capable of it. Because your life can be so much more than it has been until now. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep waiting or take action? The choice is yours. And I hope you choose to believe in yourself, in life, in what is yet to come. I'm here rooting for you, and I can hardly wait to see you take the next step. Shall we go together?